Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about air filters, Can-Am air filters, K&N air filters, why you should, why you shouldn't, why choose one over the other. So basically, it's news to me. Well, what got me thinking about this and got me realizing about this, and the reason why I want to let you guys know is when I was looking for my turbo problem, until I found out it was an air leak. Everybody said, what kind of air filter? Will and Speed asked me, what kind of air filter are you running in there? And I said, hey, Can-Am. Just get that thing out of there as soon as possible and put an OEM back in. Talked to Alba Racing when I was talking to them about they're the only ones that can rebuild a factory Can-Am turbo, right? So they told me, what kind of air filter are you running? And I told them the same thing, K&N. They said, get that thing out of there as soon as possible. And I'm like thinking, like, what the hell, man? K&N filters are like the best, aren't they? Like everybody races with these, everybody. Well, obviously they don't. Advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. Well, if you're gonna go in dusty conditions, stay away from these, it looks like. Going with the OEM reusable ones is my preferred way to go, because having to switch a filter all the time is not the way to go. And these, once you buy the initial kit, it comes with this and this. Well, you can buy just the top part to replace them when you damage them. And then get yourself a foam oil, Klotz makes one, for air filter oil to just spray on there, which will make it nice and simple, just to spray away. And that's the way I'm going back, obviously. And you can just reuse their foam filters and just re-slap it on there. And the reason why mine got damaged was I was always wondering, like, it takes apart, and from every time I clean it and wash it and put it back in and all that kind of stuff, is actually when you slide in the filter, it always rubs on the back of the inside. Like, I'll show you guys, like, real quick, and I'll show you a trick to avoid the situation of why I went away with this filter. Because when you push it in, like, I already got the cover off, we'll put some lights on here, is basically when you put it in, you rub against the side here, and then when you try to bend it, you always rub in the back end of it right here on the edge. And you got the steel rod in there, and it actually, when you're forcing it in, it chooses it in. So basically, grab a rag, grab anything nice and thick, and be as gentle as you can when you put it in there, and try to avoid this. And then put your filter in, and then put your rag to protect your edge of your filter, and then when you push it in, and then stick it in there. And that's gonna save you some wear and tear in the long run. And like, I don't care about this filter anymore. And believe me, where the rod goes through, well, look, you can see my finger in there. I don't know if you can, but there's my finger in the bottom there. That makes a hole right through it. So to make these last as long as possible, use the rag at the end, cover the edge. That's why I was happy when I got this hard surface at the end. Just slide it in, doesn't rip anything, doesn't damage anything, and that's good to go. So some people might say, make comments or whatever, no, K&N's the way to go. Well, talk to all the big shops and talk to all the ones that race and talk to the ones that want to protect their turbos, because that is an expensive thing to replace. And I'd rather replace, throw this in a bucket, soapy water, clean it, or you can buy cleanings. K&N sells air filter cleaner. I don't know if it's good for that. I'm not going to use it. It's just, they say it's for paper, shouldn't be too damageable. But what I'm going to do is, wintertime, if I go riding or something, the snow fills into my air filter, I'm just going to wash this one. In the winter, there's no small air particles or whatever, dust, so it's a different situation. It's always good to have a spare. Eventually I'll just go buy another one of these and have a spare one so I can do a quick swap for some reason or another. So twin air is the way I'm going, because I don't feel like buying a cartridge every weekend, especially people playing in the dunes or whatever, stuff like that, or playing in the trails where it's like that yellow sand there that turns really dusty when it hasn't rained like in a week or so. Like, that's insane. But this here, you get home and you just rinse it off real quick and then slap it back on, you're good to go, and that's zero cost. Well, it costs a spray can to respray it real quick. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea, like a heads up, because I always thought, you know, like K&N, like I used to throw these in all my pickup trucks and all my cars and everything, you know, cold air intake, go K&N. But something driving on the road and something following your buddy at 90 miles an hour on a dusty trail in his tail end for hours and on end, even if it's 15 minutes a time, for days on end, you're gonna do pre-wear turbo damage from all the racing guys. Stay away from it, go back to OEM. And I had a guy back a little while back that was making comments that he didn't believe that this filter was not as good as this one, and I just took it like, you know, like, sure, okay, that's your opinion, that's not my opinion. But when everybody tells you the same thing, that stay away from those, especially in dusty conditions, stay away from them. I just want to make a short video on this. I'm dragging it all along, but I'll probably cut this part out. But that's the new way to go. That's the way everybody's going, the racing teams and all that. They're not going with the K&Ns, they're going with Can-Am factory air filters. So just wanted to let you guys know before you make a choice and spend whatever from $100 to a couple $100 Canadian for an air filter, not to waste your time and money, that get either replace the foam ones all the time, or get these ones that you can clean and wash all the time, and maybe buy two. So when you're doing the cleaning while the other one's drying, because you gotta wait a while to dry, you can just swap out with your old one. So that's just a heads up I wanted to give all you guys to save you time and money, and why. And that's why. And call Wayland Speed, and call Alba Racing, and call all the racing teams and ask them, you guys run K&Ns or for your turbos on your X3s? And they're going to tell you the same thing. Get that thing out of there as soon as possible and replace it with an OEM. So I'll let you guys go on that one, and catch you on the next one. Because I know it's a short one, but something that needed to be said and nobody talks about. So there's not one video on YouTube or anywhere that's going to tell you, don't buy a K&N, it's not as good as the OEM one. Well, I just did. So we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.